Hello, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Hello, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Well,
Uh,
trying to get better,
trying to to get better. Okay, perfect. So we'll continue with Bobby Fischer. Now we have.
Yeah, we continue because I saw they are very interested. Of course, they like the games. Of course, it's normal that they like the games.
They
We
like the
played
games and the analysis from you.
well. Let's say.
You understand the
Well,
Bobby
I
much
knew
better.
him very well, and I understood his idea about chess, and well, of course, I admired like everyone else.
Hmm.
He was fantastic. And
Now we can
here we
admire a
have.
little bit also.
Hmm?
We can admire as well
Yes,
the
of course,
audience.
of course. And here we present some games a little bit unknown or forgotten a little bit. For instance, as long as I know, this game against Petrosian is the first time that he could beat Petrosian. He was very young, Bobby, of course. But you see, even at that age, he showed fantastic technique. It's very unusual to win like this against such a player like Petrosian, with such an experience and so on, you see. And you see.
Okay.
Well, after the opening, they play the Caro-Kann, one of the main variations of the Caro-Kann. And here, after knight takes c4, the alternative is bishop f5. Okay, Petrosian liked more knight d7. Okay, knight d7 is also very good.
But this was a good move to take here in.
Yeah,
If,
this is theory, the
in
main
theory?
line.
Okay.
Yeah, the main line. Okay, after knight f3, knight f6, he took in f6 check, he takes, and bishop c4. This is one of the main possibilities, for white. But now the move order is also very important. You'll see how. And the next moves like this. Yeah? So, okay, bishop f5. After bishop f5, of course, here, first of all, it's a small trick like this. Bishop g4, for instance, is a very bad move, bishop e6, g4. After bishop g4, but black is lost already.
Because.
After bishop f7 check, takes f7 check and knight e5, white won a pawn and completely winning position. Or he could play even, the first move, knight e5. But after knight e5, it seems he's mate, But after knight e5, black can play first queen a5 check. And it's not very easy. But the easiest way to do it is bishop takes and knight e5. Okay, winning for white, So the first possibility to get wrong, to go wrong
but
with
not
black.
Petrosian.
Yes. Well, of course he knows. Okay, bishop f5. All right. And here, queen e2, main line until now. And here, of course, e6, and very ambitious, bishop g5. Okay, probably the best move, bishop g5. And here already he could play first h6. But after h6 is a little bit different because the main variation could go, either way, not the same like in our game here, you see. H6, bishop h4 is another line. But okay, here he played first bishop g4. What is the idea of bishop g4? He wants to give the bishop in f3, I mean to trade the knight, and later on to play finally with a strong knight on d5 against the bishop from c4. After trading the black bishop, with bishop e7. We'll see the move order. This is the idea of this opening. Yeah. Okay, bishop g4. And now castle. And after castle, bishop e7. All right. And here.
But why to trade? Just to simplify or.
No, he wants to come in such a position where if white is a little bit better, it's very small advantage, And he plays for
Equality.
end game, equality, and for he wants
Experience.
to come to an end game where probably he thought that his opponent is very young and he doesn't have too much experience, of course. No? All right, and we see even here afterwards they analyzed later on. Bobby analyzed this game. And he found a very nice idea, very simple, but very effective. Instead of h3, it's a difference, Here he could play king b1. What is the idea? When black plays, for instance, knight d5, he has the possibility to go back with the bishop in c1. And he doesn't trade the bishop immediately. This is the difference, Okay. In the game, he played h3, the most normal move, h3. Okay, h3. Now black took, takes with the queen, and here knight d5. Now everything is very clear. Black's idea, I mean, he wants to trade the bishop. Now the problem is that if you go back with the bishop in d2, black has the possibility to play immediately bishop g5, and is okay. He can trade the bishop. This is the idea, to trade immediately the bishop,
Yeah.
All right, so then he preferred to take himself, in e7. Okay, he took, queen takes. The position is more or less even here, very balanced like this, Maybe white is very, very little better, but, the advantage is very small. And in the same time, you have to be very careful not to overstep a little bit the limit, If you think with white that you are much better, then you have some trouble, Because black can come very quickly on the queen side against the white
Bishop.
king.
Okay.
Now, by playing immediately b5, a5, like in the game. They play like this in the game. All right, so here, rook d8, he prepares a little, no? And queen e4, I mean, centralizing the position, no? And b5, okay. After b5, now if you take in d5, white has nothing, and black is maybe a little bit better already, If you take in d5, it's not good. So if you want something, you have to go back with the bishop, in d3, all right. In d3 or in b3? Where did he go?
Here.
In d3, okay.
But why black didn't castle yet?
Well, he has time to castle, no problem. It's not, nobody threatens him in such a position, So he continues, he tries to take a little bit the initiative here, black,
But now actually it's not possible to castle.
No, later on we'll see the game.
Yeah.
So here white, again, he could choose the line. He has many possibilities, but only one is the best, I mean, he played c3 probably, no? Well, what did he play? c3. This is a very good move. If he played, for instance, a3, it's not good, because that is a small weakness, because white allows a possibility to come with tempo with b4, and then black has already a good chance to do something. Okay, c3.
But here is not
even here, but if he plays now b4, he can, push the pawn in c4, and the position is more or less complicated, like this.
Okay.
All right. So it happens something like this in the game later on. Queen d6, and here he put g3. Okay, g3 is against this line with queen f4. The queen d6 threatens to come to f4.
To change queens?
Yeah, and if he has the possibility to trade queens, black has no problem at all, and he can play quietly later on. All right, so now black tries something, by playing. He wants to come to a good endgame. This is the first, possibility to do something with black, and he tries immediately. So now, if you do, you want something with white, you have to push. The only possibility. Okay, c4, and now everything is more or less forced. Okay? Knight f6. No? Now you have to move the queen. Now he wants now to take to give you the possibility to take. Yeah, or take maybe in d4. Now, if he takes in d4, it's not very easy, because he can take in a5, very complicated position. Maybe even if he gives the pawn in f2, but it's very complicated, because for the moment the king in e8 is centralized. He didn't castle yet.
Yeah. So now it matters.
So okay, now black has to do something quickly again. Very good move, c5, because he wants to transpose in a good endgame for black. The idea for this endgame is to arrive with a knight in c5. If he has time to arrive with the knight in c5, black is a little bit better all the time, because then in a close position, the knight is better than the bishop, you see. But of course, Bobby has to do something, to complicate again. It's very difficult, because the position is simple, So the position again is very complex, and Petrosian found again the best move. Bishop, queen g5, h6. Now to take the pawn is very dangerous, because after queen takes g7, he can play rook e7, and then you are in trouble with white,
Rook e7?
King e7.
King e7.
King e7. And then the queen can get,
Trapped?
has many problems, because you have no place for the queen. The threat is terrible, rook g8 and you lose the queen. You see, so you have to be very careful. Now you have to accept the fact that the position is like this, and you have to take the pawn in c7. Okay, now black has time to take, and he wants to transpose in such an endgame that I told you before.
Yeah.
Okay, so king e7 now has time to organize the idea. So c6 to complicate again a little bit. Rook d6. At least the knight doesn't come immediately to d7, c5. You see, this is the idea.
Yeah.
The position here is more or less even, but very complicated. Again, we'll see. So, okay, rook takes. Okay, black took back the pawn, but the position is still, not clear at all what happens.
Fluid.
Yeah. So, right. So, rook a8. He doesn't want to give the pawn, of course. And here, bishop e4. And look this. After bishop e4, if black takes in e4, the position is more or less even. Maybe very, very slight advantage for white, a little bit better for white.
If he takes in c4?
But by playing, what did he play here?
What he played? He played this.
Yeah, he played there because he wants to have his endgame. I mean, to take in d6 and then have control on the c5 square. This is the idea for black. But unfortunately for black, white can transpose in such an endgame where he is better, much better for white, move by move until the end. You see,
But why?
This is unbelievable that Bobby accepted to play such an endgame. I mean, he tried. He played bishop e4. As I told you, if black takes in e4, it's more or less even. Complex the position, but more or less even.
With the knight. But why not?
He could take. But now probably Petrosian thought that he has a small chance to be better, by transposing in an endgame where he has much experience and he can try to play for win, But unfortunately for black, the endgame is bad for black. I mean, it's much better for white. But you have to calculate. You have to see everything, you see. So look what happens until the end. It's move by move, but it's impressive, So he takes, and now he played rook f1. And now, what do you think? He gives the pawn from f2, but he plays with the pawns, the free pawns on the queen side, and the king, arrives very quickly in b3. The endgame, if you play, in a good order, I mean, the right moves, white is always better, almost winning. And we'll see until the end what happens. It's very funny, So he took with check. Now it's move by move again, king b3. Now, if you look at the position, well, if white has a little bit of time, he goes very quickly with the pawn, This is the problem. Okay, rook h2. And now, okay, c5. Good. Now,
so he's already moving.
The threat was already rook a7 check and the pawn goes, But now, in this position, he played rook. What did he play? Rook b5. Very good move again. Why? Because after rook a7 seems excellent, for white.
Yeah.
But look, it's not clear at all. After rook a7, it's not clear who is better. Knight d7, fantastic move, And after knight d7, you don't have time to take him before with the king, because if after rook takes b2 check, black is better, So now if you push and you play c6, comes the second surprise, knight b6, and black is better.
Because you lose the bishop?
You don't lose the bishop, but if you push c7 check, after king c8, it's clear that black is better, Because you don't have time to push, and you lose the pawn c, or you lose the two pawns h3 and g3, and the endgame is hopeless for white,
Yeah.
So therefore, the move order, as I told you, is very important. So he found, of course, the best move, rook b5, much better. What do you think? This position, white wins in a few moves. It seems the position is still very complicated,
Yeah.
Here. Okay, look what happens until then. Rook b5. Okay, rook takes h3. Check, no? Okay, so now there. And now check. Now what do you do?
You go back, I
You
guess.
go
or-
back, of course. Now,
no, up. Go after the pawn.
what did he play here?
Ah,
Yeah,
king
here
up.
and king c4, and black resigned because he's mate. Mate on the table.
Yeah, he resigned.
Yeah, mate. In one move, unbelievable. By this high level. No move at all for black. He goes away with the rook and is mate. The king in c6 is mated.
Yeah, with the bishop.
With the bishop there, hidden in a8. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
In a few moves. Look at this.
Yes.
And the
Wow, what
opponent is Petrosian, it's out of this world. Yeah.
Wow, I guess it was a big surprise.
Yeah, of course. But if you look at in a
Yeah.
few moves, a small mistake, enough.
Very beautiful.
61. Bobby had what in 61? 18 years old. Look at that. Of course, some small mistakes. I don't tell the game was perfect.
Yeah,
Some
but
small mistakes for white and for black, but the final position is unbelievable. Complete zugzwang and mate on the table. It's not to believe this.
yes, by moving away the rook, he's
No,
mating.
he has no move. I mean, the rook can't move, the knight can't move. It's mate all over the board. Yeah. Look
Super.
at this. The most incredible position is knight d7. After knight d7, yeah, rook
Okay.
a7 check, mate.
He's going back.
Mate.
Yeah.
Mate on the table.
Yeah, very nice. Yes.
You see that?
Yeah. Okay.
Look at this. Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, of course. But very funny, This high level is very funny to have such a position. With a few pieces on board, just a few pieces.
Yeah, nobody expected a met here.
Of course, nobody. And Petrosian, I think, was very surprised himself, probably.
Yeah.
But he overstepped a little bit the limit. I tell you, he wanted a little bit too much in a position, even like this, balanced. He thought probably, okay, my opponent is very young. He doesn't have too much experience. Maybe it was I try a little bit, to have a better end game. Okay, the result was this.
He discovered Bobby, I guess,
Yeah.
in this game.
Of course. The smallest chance, the smallest chance was enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Gheorghiu.
fantastic technique. So even by this age.
True. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.